A warm greeting to one and all. Dear friend, myself Dr. S. B. Kishore welcome you all in our tutorial C programming. In the today's sessions, we are going to discuss about introduction to C language and the basic of what IDE called as integrated development environment. In the today's sessions, we are going to cover the following points. That is, what is the algorithm, okay, then what is the language and what it constitute. Then we will discuss, then we will see how to convert the statement written in algorithm into the corresponding C language statement. Then we will discuss about the IDE called as integrated development environment. Then how to write a C language program, how to compile it and how to execute it. Then we will discuss some of the common errors that you may encounter while compiling and executing the program, and at the end we will discuss about the online GDB tools in order to compile the C language program. So let's start with an algorithm. So with a problem, write a step to add and subtract the two numbers. So in this particular case, there were basically two unknown numbers. So first step will be what? Accept the two values, that is, say in variable a and b. Once you know the two numbers, what you will do? You will perform their addition and their subtraction. Finally, display the results one by one and stop. Okay. So now here you need to remember some of the points. In step 1, instead of accept, one may write input, get, read or some any other meaningful terminology instead of writing an accept. Now step 2 and 3 can be interchangeable. It means first of all you may perform the subtraction and then you may perform the addition, but it is not possible to interchange it with the step number 1. It means without accepting the number you are not able to perform the additions. Similarly, in step 4 and 5 you may use the notation like print, write, put instead of writing a display. And similarly, in step number 6 you may write what? Notation like stop and halt instead of writing an exit. In short, the algorithm written by two different person may have a different types of notation. That is the most important part, because algorithm cannot be executed on a computer. So everyone is free to use their own notation. Now question arises, what is an algorithm? So solving the problem in our own notation. Now why you are solving the problem? To achieve a certain desired result. It means if you want to find out the additions, what you need to write a symbol? Plus only. If you are written by mistake instead of plus, suppose you are written here multiplication symbol, what will happen? You will get a wrong result. It means you get a result, but that result is not a correct one. So solving the problem in our own notation to achieve a desired result in a certain order or sequence is known as what? Algorithm. It means first of all you need to accept, then only it is possible to perform their addition. Vice versa is not possible. It means you cannot perform the addition without accepting the numbers. So an algorithm is simply what? A collection of finite number of instructions arranged in a certain sequence or order. Remember, it cannot be executed on a computer. It is not possible to execute the algorithms on a computer. Using a programming language, what we are doing? We are implementing an algorithm. Okay. Now it's time to know about a computer programming language. Okay. A language is what? Language is simply a mode of communication. Okay. So what kind of symbols that you are using during your communication? For example, when you are talking about English language, we have a total 26 alphabets, or you may call it a character set, in order to construct certain word or sentence. Similarly, in Hindi we have a 44 alphabets which will help you to construct the word and sentence. Similarly, in computer programming language also what? We have a certain set of symbols, and using those symbols only we are able to construct what? A word or sentence. So now having a only set of symbol is not enough. You must also have what? A grammar. So every language consists of what? A character set and grammar to construct the words and sentence. Now a program written in a specific language is called as what? Programming language. Now every computer programming language follows what? A certain rules chosen of that particular language while carrying out a certain task, and it has its own set of character set and need to follow what? A syntax. Now instead of calling a grammar, we are calling it what? Syntax. So remember, in oral we have only character set between what? A to Z, but when you are writing you may use certain other symbols also, like full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, double quote, single quote, question mark. So these are the other symbols that you may use while constructing or while writing. Okay. Now take one example. Mr. Anand studying in SP College. Okay. How you are going to say in Hindi? Anand एसपी महाविद्यालय में पढ़ रहा है. Okay, now you use any human language like Telugu, Gujarati, Bengali, okay, or any human language. The basic meaning will remain what? It will remain the same. What has been changed? Only the character set and the grammar. That has been only the change. Otherwise, the basic remain will always what? Same. So algorithm will always give what? Meaning. Now, if you want to find out the additions of two number, what will be the step? Accept the two number, perform the addition and display the result. Use any computer language. Okay, the basic step will remain the same, that is accept, perform the addition and display the result. Now it's a time to convert our algorithm into the corresponding C language statement. So like in order to find out say additions and the subtractions of two number, the first step will be what? Accept A and B. Now observe that here we are not specifying whether the value of A and B are integer or floating or what kind of values that you can accept in this particular variable. Okay, so it is not necessary to specify all those things while writing an algorithm, because algorithms are what? They are the independent of the data type. Now corresponding statement for accept in C, we have what? A scanf. So meaning of scanf is what? Get the value from the user in a formatted manner. So like I said, instead of accept, you may use what? Any other terminologies like read, get, input in algorithm, but that is not the case when it comes to the a specific language. When you are talking about a C language, in C language you must use always what? A scanf in order to accept the values, okay, in a formatted manner. So now question arises, like I earlier said, algorithm is what? They are the independent of the data type, but that is not the case when it comes to the C language. C language is what? Basically a dependent on the data type. So you need to specify what kind of values you want to accept, whether you want to find out the additions of two integer or two float or integer with float and so on. So suppose if you want to find out the additions of two integer, in that case you need to specify a control string. Okay, so that is what here %I. Anything that you are writing within the double quote, basically it is referred as a string. Now it controls what kind of value that you can accept. Now try to understand the purpose of scanf statement. Basically scanf statement perform two operations. First thing is that it accepts the values from the user via certain input device like keyboard, and once you have accepted the values, once the user has provided the values, those values will be stored into the corresponding variables. Okay, so these are the two things that a scanf statement perform. First is accept the values from the user via input device like keyboard, and after accepting those values, it will store those values into the corresponding variable. Okay, now instead of %I, someone may use %D. There is no issue at all. Now if you want to find out the additions of two float number, in that case you need to write what? A control string %F. Okay, now assume your first number is integer and second number is float. It means in that case it will be what? %I and here %F. If the first number is float and second number is integer, in that case %F first and then %I. Okay, so order is important. Now what about the second statement? C is equal to A plus B. It is same almost in C language also. C is equal to A minus B, it is also same. Now printf instead of display. In C language you need to use the printf statement whenever you would like to display what? A value with a certain result. So here we are displaying a message addition, and then we are displaying the what? The result that has been stored in a variable, computing variable C. It means the value will be displayed over here. Similarly the second one. Okay, and finally what we have here? Stop. Now observe that here we have a what? Numbering 1 2 3 4. Here we don't have something like that. Here each and every statement is terminated by what? A semicolon. So semicolon at the end is indicate what? End of statement. Like we have a full stop in English at the end of sentence. So semicolon indicate what? It's the end of statement, not the end of line. It means like in English we can write a more than one sentence on a single line, no issue at all. So in computers, in a C language also we are able to write more than one sentence on a single line without having any problem. In fact, you can write the entire all the statement in a single line, but one should always avoid this. The basic reason is very simple. When you are going to compile this program, we will see how to compile. In that case, it might be possible that you may commit certain mistakes. Now assume that if you have forget to specify the semicolon, so what will happen? You will get an error message that semicolon has been not, the statement has been not terminated by the semicolon. Okay. So if you have written everything on single line, what will happen? It will be difficult to trace where you have forget to give a semicolon, and that's why it is suggested that you should always write a single statement on a single line. Okay. So what we have seen here in this particular slide, we have seen simply how to write the corresponding statement that you used to write in an algorithm using a C language, but this is not a complete program. Here we have number 1, which indicate the beginning of this solution of the problem. Now in C language it is indicated by a word called as main. So what is main? Main is basically a function which performs certain specific tasks. What is that specific task in this case? To find out the additions and the subtractions of the two numbers. So main is also referred as what? Function, and it is an entry point to execute the statement that you have written within the opening and closing brace. All the statements are going to be executed. Okay. Now observe that these are what? Simply corresponding statement that what you have written in the algorithm. Now we have how many variables? Basically we have a 4 variable A, B, C, D. So here we know variable, these are what? A, B, C, D are the variable. Here we need to specify so that compiler will come to know what kind of values you are going to accept in those variables. So how we are going to convey it to the compiler? By writing int A, B, C, D. So this entire line is referred as what? A declaration line or declarations of a variable. And observe that declarations of variable basically consist of two parts. First one is what? Data type. It means what kind of values you can accept in this particular variables. And remember, these variables are what? They are basically case sensitive. Case sensitive means what? Observe that here I have written capital D, while displaying I am writing what? Small d. So there is no issue in algorithm, but that is not the case when it comes to the C language. If you have written a small letter at the declaration, you should write everywhere small. If you have written capital, you should write everywhere capital. It means the case must match. Now before scanf, always make sure to print a message. Okay. It means when you are going to execute this particular program, user should know what operation he is supposed to do, whether he need to enter 2 values or 3 values or 4 values or what, whether it should be integer or floating or what. Okay. So you should always specify that by means of what? A printf statement before a scanf. Okay. Now we are calling this as what? IO statement, input output statement. Okay. And here A and B are called as what? Inputting variable. Here A plus B and A minus B, they are what? Basically an expression, while C and D are referred as what? Computing variable. Okay. Now question arises, what is printf and scanf? So basically we have seen they are what? IO statement. Now where this function has been already written, so this function has been already written in a header file called as standard input output header file. Okay. So meaning of these two statement has been already written in this particular header files. Now when you are executing the program, always make sure to clear your screen. So how it can possible? By writing what? A CLR SCR, clear the screen. Okay. And for that purpose you need to header file called as console input output header file. So remember dear friends, C languages consist of various functions. Okay. There are more than thousands of functions are available in C language, and all the similar types of function has been included in a certain specific header files. Okay. So you need to explore all those header files in order to know what kind of function it contains. So for that purpose, what you can do, place the cursor over here and press Ctrl F1 buttons. Okay. So you will get the help regarding the stdio file, and you will come to know the various types of function that has been included in this particular header files. Okay. Now whenever you are writing a program, make sure to specify the comment line at the beginning. Okay. So how it can possible? By means of specifying your comment between a slash star and at the end star slash. Observe that here also we are given what? A comment line. Okay. So basically it is referred as a multi-line comment. It is referred as a multi-line comment. Okay. So what is the use of this comment? Just by reading this line, you will be able to know for what purpose this particular program has been written. Okay, that is very much possible by simply reading this particular line. Okay, so this is our first complete C language program for the corresponding algorithm. Again, observe that what we have done, first of all we have written the corresponding statement and then we have built the various blocks of the C language statements. Now take one more algorithm. If you want to find out the additions of two floating number, now instead of integer, what you need to write here? Float. And similarly, instead of control string I or %d, you need to write specify here %f to indicate the floating values. Floating values means a value which contains certain decimal values. Okay. Now assume that if you want to find out the additions of two numbers of which the first number is integer and second number is float, in that case what you need to do? Okay, so you need to write here int a, then float b, and then again c and d. So a is integer while b is what? It's a floating values. So addition of integer with float may contain a floating values, and that's why we have written what? C as a float, similarly d as a float. Finally display both the results. Okay, while algorithm remain the same irrespective of the data type that you are going to use. Now program to find the simple interest for having a rate of interest what? 8.5. So here the rate of interest has been already given. So what are the unknown values? There were two unknown values, that is principal amount and the number of year. Okay, accept them and perform the calculation and display the result. Now how you are going to write the same in C language statement? Enter the principal amount and number of years. So you are going to accept the two values, of which the first value is what? It's a floating values, while second is the integer values. Okay, then perform the calculation and display the result. Now by default C language display its result in a decimal with a 6th place if it is the floating values. Now if you want to display up to only 2 decimal point, then you should write here %.2f. Okay, we will see all these things during our practical session. Now to find out the area of circle. Okay, so this is your circle and this is your radius. So what is the value of pi? 3.14. So simply assign it, accept the value of what? Radius, perform the calculation and display the result. It's very simple, nothing new. Now instead of writing r into r, is it possible to use something other mechanism? Of course yes. So what is that? Use a power function, power of r comma 2. Now since you are using a power function, you need to include what? Math.h, a header file which contains various mathematical functions. Okay, especially assume that if you want to find out the volume of sphere, so what is the formula? 4 by 3 pi r cube. So instead of writing 4 by 3 pi r into r, what we can do? We can use a power function. Okay, now what is IDE? IDE is called as the integrated development environment, an environment where you are able to write your program, where you are able to compile your program, and where you are able to execute your program. All these three things will be placed at one location, and hence it is called as what? IDE, integrated development environment. So your basic screen is like that. You can call it, it's a layout of your C++ editor, basically called as Turbo C++ editor. Observe that we have here menus bar. Okay, and the first letter is what? It is in capital as well as it is in red color. So this particular alphabet is known as what? SS key or hot key. So you can activate any one of this option by pressing what? The alter combination. For example, if you want to activate the compile menu, what you can do? One way is what? Use a mouse. Second way is alter C. Similarly, if you want to see the option, alter O. If you want to activate run menu, alter R, and so on. Okay, now so right, this is the basic layout of your screen. By default the name of the file is what? It's a no name. Okay, and your current cursor position will be on what? Line number 1 and column number 1. Okay, now which version we are using? We are using a Turbo C++ 3.0, and it is a product of what? Borland International. Okay, now what done by compiling a program? So compiling means checking all the syntax of the program statements are written correctly or not. So once you have written a program, okay, the next step is what? You need to compile your program just to check whether all the statements has been written correctly or not. Okay, so on successful, if there is no error, it will create a special file called as object file. You can combine this object file with a assembly language program when you are writing certain embedding software tools. Now, to know much more detail about the compilation process, okay, you can view one of my video. Okay, the link has been given over here. Again, I am going to provide this link on a description part. Now, once your compilation is successful, the next step is what? Running or executing the program. Okay, so running a program will simply create what? The interface between the user and program. It means we have written a program. Now it's a time to have an interaction with the user. So that can be possible only when you are executing the program. Okay, so on successful, it will create a special file called as exe file, which is also referred as what? Executable file, and it can be run on a standalone machine. It means once you have copied this executable file, and you can execute the same file on another machine without having a source code with you. Okay, so that is the basic advantage of what? Having a executable file. Now, what are the errors? So let's see. An error that occurs when a compiler or interpreter cannot understand the source code statement in order to generate the machine code. Okay, so whenever you are committing certain mistakes while writing an instruction, you will get what? The error. So errors are basically of three types. The first one is called syntax error. It means you have not written the statement properly. The syntax error is an incorrect construction of the statement within the source code. Okay, then comes a runtime error. It means your program is successful in terms of compilation, and when you are trying to execute the program, you may get an error, like when you are trying to divide a particular number by a 0, or when you want to find out the logarithm of a negative number. So in that case, you may get an error called as runtime error. Okay, apart from these two errors, we have one more error called as logical error, which is little bit difficult to debug or find out. You come to know about this error when your machine result and your manual result are not matching. It means there is a certain problem in your solution that you have given. Okay, those errors are referred as what? Logical error or semantic error. Okay, now these are some of the references that you may follow. Now it's time to do a practical session. So click on Turbo C++. So this is what your interface. So this is basically your layout of your C++. So observe that this is what your menu bar. Okay, and click on help, and here you will find what? The about. So observe the version, Turbo C++ version 3.0. it's the product of your Borland International. Okay, click on OK, and observe that whenever you are placing the cursor over here, you are getting what? The help on the status bar. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now in order to write a new program, you need to click on new, and now here you need to type your first program. So let's see. Again, remember what is void? Void means nothing, and main is what? It is an entry point to execute your C language program. Now here don't forget to give a tab, okay, and then type, so that your program will remain the indent manner. So in order to find out the additions of two numbers, you need three variables, of which two are what? Inputting variable, while third one is what? It's a computing variable. So clear the screen. Then before every scanf, you should have what? A printf. So enter two integer numbers. Then scanf is useful for what? Accepting the values %d, and a. Here and means what? It's address. Okay, we will discuss about it within a moment. Perform the addition and display the result. So let's check. And now here what you need to do? Press the backspace. So our first program is ready with a name called as no name. So simply save it first. So function key F2 is useful for saving a name of function. F2 key is useful for what? To save. Let's see function key F2. Okay. So name the program, say sum2. Okay. And now observe that total how many lines are there? Total 12 lines are there. So first thing that what you need to do, you need to compile the program. So compile it. Shortcut key is what? Alt F9. Observe that it is showing a message successful, and total number of lines it is showing what? 466. Now question arises, how though our program consists of only 12 lines, why total line it compiled 466? So because of the header file that has been included in our current program. See, for printf and scanf and clrscr function, we have used what? These two header files. So it means their coding has been already written in this particular header file. Those coding will become a part of our this program. Okay, and that's why you find total 466 line has been compiled. So once your program is success, next thing is what? Run it. Shortcut key is Ctrl F9. So enter two integer numbers, say 2 and 5. Okay, then now you can execute the program as long as you wish. Once your program is successful, you can execute it as long as you wish. Okay, now it's time to see what is the effect. Assume that if you are not written CLR SCR, what is going to happen? Program is successful, and observe that 465 lines has been compiled since we have deleted one line. Now without clearing the screen, what is happening? We are getting our previous screen, and there only we are accepting a new values from the user, which looks very odd. Okay, so always clear the screen at the beginning of the program, and please remember we are calling all these as what? Statements. So all the statement must be followed by what? A declaration statement only. All the statement must follow a declaration statement. It means there should not be any single statement before the declarations of the variable in C language. Okay. Now what is going to happen if I have not written this particular statement? So simply what I will do, I will put it in a comment line. It means this entire part has become what? A comment line. Now compile it and execute it. Observe that there is no message. Now question arises, what user has to do? How many values he has to enter, whether 2 or 3 or 4. Now since we have written a program, we know very well how many values we need to enter. But remember, we are not writing a program for ourselves, but for the user. Now what is going to happen if I return or provided 3 values? It will take the first 2 values only. Okay, so that's why always specify a printf message before the scanf, so that user will come to know how many values he has supposed to enter. Okay, now please remember this is simply a message. Suppose instead of 2, suppose if I return here 3, so is it going to perform the additions of 3 number? Of course not. It will take only the first 2 values only. Simply printing a message is not going to perform any operation. It means even though if you are written like this, it will print as it is. So it is useful for what? Simply providing a message, nothing else. So you can write any kind of message, but always write a proper message so that your user will find it's very easy to understand. Okay. Now what is going to happen if I return, suppose if I want to print additions of 4 and 5 is equal to 9. It means the addition of first number with that of second should provide a result. Now how many values we are going to print here? 3 values. So write here A, B, C. Okay. Then what is going to happen if I am not written a getch? Control Y for deleting the line. Enter 2 number. Now be careful and see what is happening here. The moment I am pressing here enter key, here remember space is what? Space is the separator between the 2 values. Space is the separator between the 2 values that I am providing. The moment I am pressing the enter key, I am not able to view the result. So for that purpose, what I need to do? I need to press Alt F5. Okay, so instead of that, what we can write here, getCH. So getCH is basically what? It is a one function which will wait as long as you are not going to enter any single character. So we are utilizing it just like for what? A continue. It means so that we will be able to view our entire result. Okay, that is the basic purpose. So let execute once again, and now observe that we are able to view the result. Okay, now so this is now question arise, our program is saved or not. So observe that the star indicate that our program is not saved. So simply press function key F2 and observe that star has been disappear. Okay, so this now again if I am making certain correction, observe here star will appear. Again press Alter F2 in order to save the program. Okay, now try to commit certain mistakes so that you will come to know what kind of error you may encounter. Suppose by mistake I have written here like this instead of include. Basically I am getting the three errors. Okay, unknown preprocessor. So this line is referred as what? Preprocessor. I include. We don't have something like that, and always remember printf and scanf are always stored in a stdioh file. Okay, so it is not able to locate that one. That's why it is also showing what? The error in that particular line also. So write it correctly. Now suppose if I forget to write here O, unable to open CNIO file. Now observe that CNIO file contain what? Two functions, that is CLR, SCR and getCH. So it is showing the error on both the lines. So write it properly. Now assume that I forget to include this opening brass. Now it is showing the error in almost all the lines. It means a single mistake may lead to some other errors also. Okay, so observe that unexpected, it means it is not expecting to have a closing brass without having the opening brass. So specify it. Now assume that I forget to give the semicolon over here. Statement missing semicolon, that's good. But now assume if I forget to give over here, then declaration syntax error, it is not a semicolon. Okay, so that's why this line is referred as what? Declaration line. So it means there is certain error over here. So some errors are not user friendly to understand. Okay, so like in the previous case we have seen that the statement missing is semicolon, that is very easy to understand. Now here also we have committed the same mistake, we forget to give the semicolon, but we got a different kind of error message. Now if you forget to include the quotation, unterminated string, it means string has been not terminated. So we are calling whatever the message that you are writing within a double quote, they are referred as what? String. Okay, so there is a unterminated string over there. Now assume if you have forget to give the symbol, again it is very difficult to debug exactly which error you have committed. So remember, some errors are not user friendly to understand, and that's why I always suggest you to commit as many as error at the beginning. Okay, write one successful program and then commit the mistake, and try to remember when you are going to get a particular error message, so that in future whenever you will commit a certain mistake, you will be easily able to debug and you will be easily able to correct your that particular mistakes. One more mistakes, let's see. Suppose if I forget to include this one, now it is saying what? Compound statement missing. Now please remember, the statement that you are writing within a main, they are referred as what? Compound statement. So you have forget to include what? A closing brass. Okay, now whether our program is saved, observe there is a star, it means not. So save it. Okay, again compile it and run it. Okay, that's perfect. Now assume we want to find out the additions of two float numbers. So one way is what? Replace integer with float and replace %d by %f. So instead of that, what we can do, we can copy this program by save as mechanism, and our new program name will be what? Sum to f. Sum to f, that is floating. So instead of integer, right now what here? Float, and instead of %d, right here %f. You can also use find and replace method for doing this work, and now save it. Observe that there is a star, it means our program has been not saved. Compile it, run. Okay, there is no issue at all. Now let me take you back again to the previous program, integer of additions of two numbers. So how to open the previous file? Open sum2.cpp and let me again execute this program. Enter two integer numbers. I am entering 1.2 and 2.1. It means though I have defined the integer data type, I am trying to insert what? A floating value. So let's see what is going to happen. It is giving an unpredictable result. Okay, so don't ever try to do something like that. So now two floating numbers and again execute it. We have defined this what now? Float. So now there is no issue at all. Okay, once again try 4.5678 with 4. Okay, there is no issue at all. Now if I want to print it up to only 2 digits after decimal, so in that case what I need to do? Write here 0.2f. Similarly over here also. Okay, let's take it first. What is going to happen? 4 point, okay, similarly 7 point, and now observed. Okay, result is in what? 2 decimal place. So for that purpose what you need to do? 0.2f. Similarly I am trying over here and let's see what is going to happen. .786, okay, 789, and similarly 8.789. Observe that what happened? It has been rounded up. Okay, so this is how you are able to write what? A program. And comment, you know very well how to give the comments. To find sum of two floating numbers. Okay, again save the program. F2. Okay, so I hope that you understood how to write a program in Turbo C++, then how to compile it and how to run it. Now we have seen we need to write what? CLR in order to clear the screen and get ch at the end, so that we will be able to view the result. So is it necessary to have such kind of things? Okay, now some of the compilers are smart, there you don't require these two steps. Let's see. Okay, I am closing it, Alt F and then quit. Now here we will try an online editor. So Google, here what we have a online C compiler. I have already bookmarked. Let's see the web link, onlinegb.com. Okay, it is showing what? www.onlinegb.com. So onlinegb.com. Okay, here you can also write up your program. So I am, by default it will show you something like this. So clear the screen and write your first program. Now it is somewhat user friendly. I am writing the same program that what we have written. Void main, See, I have not written the opening and closing brace. Printf, enter two numbers, scanf, automatically quotations has been showing, it is automatically showing what? Then C is equal to A plus B, and finally printf, sum is equal to percentage T comma C. Okay. Now simply run. You don't need to compile and anything, semicolon, and off the door here. It is compiling the process. Screen has been cleared. 4 and 5. Okay, it is showing the what? Result. Now you don't need to wait. It is showing the result. There is no get ch at the end. Program is finished. With the exit code, press any key to back to console. Okay, so this is what? The online GDB. Here also you are able to execute your C language program using the online. Not only the C, you can also execute your C++, Python program also over here. Okay, so I hope that you understood the how to write, compile and execute the program using the Turbo C++ and using online GDB. So I hope you understood all the things that what we have discussed in our today's session. With that, thank you very much. Have a nice day.